name is Farrah and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to talk about shadow work, and I'm going to give you some prompts and tell you guys how to do it and how I've been doing shadow work. Shadow work started with this one video. A lot of people have said a lot of positive things about after doing shadow work. I know that deep down inside I am a very unlikable person. I find it very hard to talk about my emotions. I think people find it very hard to click with me. I'm a Scorpio, and recently I've started doing it again because it stemmed from this book. This book has made me revisit doing shadow work. The reason being is because it's about generational trauma, and I feel like it touched deep. This book, with the experiences it shared, I feel like I keep going out of focus. The examples really hit deep. Made me want to revisit my shadow work, go through it again. Since the last time I did shadow work, it was a very long time ago, 2-3 years ago. Obviously new things would have arose, we all change. Our shadow is gonna follow us. If you don't know what shadow work is, it's kind of like a darker version of yourself. For me, I know that's personality type of myself, that where I can have quite a lot of flaws and say quite a lot of nasty things. This is like my shadow self. That's how I would view shadow work. So shadow work is tapping back into that shadow self and kind of looking at why for a reflection period. To talk a little bit about this book and why it kind of cut deep, with that book it talks about generational trauma, and I do believe that unless we break the cycle and stop doing things that are negative or nasty, that we have like these flaws that we carry within ourselves, we're gonna keep passing this trait on. I end up having kids in the future. It's important now, I think, even if you're not planning to have kids, just to break the cycle so other people don't have to suffer. How I like to do shadow work, I have 2 different ways. One of them is my journaling. It has been something that I've kept very consistent at. I've done it for quite a while over the years. I can hold deep within my heart and I can let everything out without feeling judgment. I don't think therapy would work for me because I feel like I'd just end up trying to get the person to like me. Putting pen to paper and writing down my feelings makes me feel like I'm not having any type of judgment. Journaling has worked for me. I know that journaling doesn't work for everybody. Another thing that I like to do is on my phone, on notes, I will write down little affirmations, I guess, to myself, reminders and kind of prompts, and then I will be able to take a blank pen and paper and I'll cut out little squares and then write the affirmation down. I'll show you guys at the end of the video how I'm going to do that, because I am going to be creating a little altar where I'm sat in my room. If you don't know, I've just moved out, so spiritual altar and daily affirmations that I can read above my head, so then I can meditate on them. Another thing that I found really helps, daily meditation and yoga. Yoga, I do it sometimes, I'm not very consistent with it. Meditation has definitely a very powerful one, especially once you know there are certain flaws. Some of the affirmation, more like reminders to myself that I've written, which I guess I'll share them with you guys. I don't know, this may help somebody dive a bit deeper into their flaws. I've written, connect with your inner divine feminine energy, embrace vulnerability by sharing your thoughts and feelings calmly. You don't have to constantly carry a masculine energy of fighting and putting up a wall. Learn to express yourself by letting go and talking. This has been one big one for me, and I like to meditate on this because I struggle with that. I have this I call it a masculine energy, like a feminine and masculine energy, and I find my feminine energy is, I struggle with connecting with that. I'm very much more like a masculine energy where I prefer to just put up a wall, shut you off, not speak about things, and yeah, just kind of like deal with it in my own time. I see that as a very masculine energy, call it what you will. A feminine energy, I'd see that as more letting go, let's talk about it, that kind of attitude, and I really struggle to be that kind of girl, which is so backwards because I know other girls may be the opposite. I'm trying to kind of tap into this side and learn about how to be vulnerable and learn about how to express my feelings in a better way than just arguing and shouting. And this mainly goes for in relationships, because I know where this stems from, this putting up a wall and struggling to be vulnerable. This is because of past relationships and being hurt and then being scared to let go again, let that feeling go of, oh my god, what if I get hurt? Just embrace that. If you get hurt or not, things are gonna happen, but at the end of the day, we can't always put up a wall, because I find for me that's when people really struggle to read me. People really struggle. They think I'm quite emotionless, when really and truly I'm a very sensitive person. Look into the sign Scorpio. We are very emotional people deep down inside. It's just we struggle to let that go. I always thought for a very long time it was my ego. No, this is just because of past generational trauma that I have dealt with from past relationships, and I have then brought that into the present. I am no longer acting in fear. I'm not doing it no more. I've been hurt in the past. I've been hurt now. There's nothing I cannot get over. I've got over so many other things. There's nothing I cannot get over. And remembering that there are people out there that genuinely just want to understand how I feel, and they're not trying to judge me. It's more just coming from a place of let's talk, let's understand. Because I know that I used to be that feminine energy after past relationships, let's say. It made me shut off that side, put up a wall. I'd say protection, but it wasn't protection. So yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense, but that was one of the main prompts. It's been a big one that I'm finding quite hard to overcome. Trying everything that I can to kind of meditate on that and remember that sometimes it's okay to be vulnerable. Sometimes it's okay to talk about things, not having to worry that you're going to get judged. And even if you do, who the frick cares? Another prompt is you no longer have to carry around negative emotions anymore. Let them go. I'm one to always think about the past and try hold on to the past. Sometimes you just don't need that burden. You just kind of just let it go. Sometimes you can be quite mean, saying things before you speak. It's time to remember that if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Not everybody needs to hear your negative thoughts and opinions. Sometimes they're better kept to yourself. Sometimes when we get a bit heated in arguments, we can say things that we don't mean and just kind of see red. And I'm sure everybody else is like that as well. Some things just don't need to be said. They're just better left unsaid. And I think silence is way more powerful than saying these negative things, because at the end of the day, putting that negativity out into the universe, obviously there's such thing as karma, if you believe in that, it can come back to you. And as well, just not very nice. Learning to just shut your mouth when it's needed. And I know that's such a basic common sense thing. I really struggle with it. One of the people, when you argue with me, I just see red. Another prompt, asking for help doesn't make you any less of a person. It's important to remember that you don't have to do everything on your own. There's help available, and sometimes it's worth accepting it. I sometimes think I can do everything on my own. I get like, I don't need anybody. I can do it by myself, do it on my own. It's weird. Even when I was moving out, I struggled to accept help from friends. Friends were asking me, let me help you move in. Really had to refrain in my mind that it's okay to say yes. I don't know why, but in my mind, I was sat there thinking, no, I can do it. People are asking and wanting to help. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if anybody else is like this, but why am I like that? Sometimes I really have this mental battle of having to tell myself it's okay, just accept the freaking help. I'm not very good at receiving help. Like if somebody wanted to help me put up something, I'm not very good at receiving help. So I think it's important to sometimes just take a step back. It's okay to accept help, and it's okay to ask as well. Trying to do everything by myself is very hard, and it gets very one, time consuming, and two, this is how I stress myself out. So these are just a few of the affirmations that I've wrote down for myself that I can work on, meditate over. I'd suggest for anybody else that's thinking about doing shadow work, I think it can be very powerful, especially once you tap into it daily and you have these prompts around your house, can make you think about these things rather than it just a day of shadow work or a week of shadow work. Actually reflecting on the shadow daily, I do feel like that is what makes big changes in the future, I believe. So what I'm going to do now, let's go make some affirmational cards. Okay, so how I'm going to do these cards is blank piece of paper, drawing paper, but we're going to use it anyways.